What went wrong with my beekeeping? Why am I losing so many colonies? Here it is, November 14th, and we have a nice week of weather. I didn't have this nice weather during October, and I've gone through colonies over the last couple days. I did this row. First day I got all the way to 53. That was Sunday. And then Monday, yesterday, I did the rest of them. And you see these colonies here that have two mediums. Some of them are combined, but others aren't. They're just two mediums, and the mediums are full. I was looking at downsizing a hive. I wasn't able to. This one right here combined a lost colony with an existing colony. Another one right here, okay? And I think there's another one here and another one there. I try to keep good notes, but a lot of times I do stuff outside while I'm beekeeping and I don't write it down later in the day. I forget. If I had somebody following behind me writing down everything I did during the day, I wouldn't have such issues. The temperatures overnight were in the 20s, around 26, and any small colonies probably would have been chilled. And I had to go do a service call for my electrical business, so I didn't have time to look at them. Now the sun is out. Let's pause. A month ago, I had over 200 colonies. Again, I say it's November 14th. And this is what has happened. November 4th, I went through and I killed a bunch of queens that looked old. And then I was combining colonies that had no queens. So basically, I lost several colonies there. On November 11th, I killed queen 98, not laying, looks old. November 12th, killed queen 85. She looked old. Combined with 139. Colony 8, no queen. This right here is a new queen. It had queen cells and no queens. So, about 10% of my colonies that I create will not make it through the summer, will not make it towards next year, will not make it before winter. So that's typical. That's not a big deal. It didn't cost me anything to make those queens. And November 13th is just yesterday. 177, no queen. 32, no queen. When I put an arrow towards 9, that means I combined that with 9. 105, open queen cell, saw no virgin queen. And if I saw the virgin queen, I would have killed her, but I didn't see her. Combined with 162. You know, the trouble that I'm having is I always have the toxic chemicals, but I can't get rid of them. The Varroa mites are a big issue this time of year. During the months of May, June, and July, I was doing mating nukes, and every time I opened up a hive, and if I happened to open up a drone brood cell, you know, cap drone brood, I would look and see if I saw any Varroa mites in it. I didn't see any. So I didn't think I had any issues in June and July. In August, robbing was such an issue because there's over 100 colonies, like 150 colonies here at home. I was not able to find another location for small colonies. I asked around, but I didn't have enough time. And I like to do my mating nukes here at home so I don't have to drive around a lot. I can just go out in the morning because I'm doing this 10, 12 hours a day during the summer. And I like to do them at home because they're right here. I don't have to drive anywhere. It's quicker. But I would like to find another location for colonies that when I get a new laying queen, I take that colony to another location where there are no commercial bees, where they won't be apt to pick up Varroa mites from commercial bees and get robbed out towards the end of summer. I just haven't found a good place because there's too many crop farmers. I'm in mid-Michigan. Majority of the land, 90% of the land is crop farm land. They spray chemicals constantly, and I know firsthand those chemicals kill my honeybees. The state of Michigan confirmed 2019 my bees were killed by a commercial crop farmer south of me. but they told me the farmer did nothing wrong. So I will not get reimbursed for my losses. Nobody cares, okay? Those same toxic chemicals that are killing my bees are also killing you, causing you to get cancer. But you guys don't care, all right? So I can't do anything about the toxic chemicals, and the Varroa mites take a long time to get rid of. And I had 2 of these last fall, these Rox vaporizers. And one burned out last fall, and I knew I was going to have an issue in the following year, but I delayed it. And it was my fault to delay doing something about it. And here it was, mid-September. I'm checking my colonies, and I've showed you my notes in previous videos. By mid-September, my colonies had a lot of Varroa mites. So here I am. I go on eBay looking for some other solution, looking for a deal. And by mid-September, towards the end of September, I come up with this $300 OxyVap ProVap 110. Okay, I got this for $300 used. It looked better when I got it. I haven't had a chance to use or clean it. I've used it a lot. And that's the issue. When you have issues with Varroa mites and they're out of control, using acetic acid is not going to do anything for several weeks. It takes a long time because it does not kill the Varroa mites in the cat brood. So I'm getting delayed by using acetic acid. And for somebody that's used Formic Pro formic acid and lost 10% of my queens when I've used that, and the second time I used the Formic Pro formic acid, it did not kill any Varroa mites. It just killed 10% of my queens. So there is no perfect Varroa mite treatment, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you, all right? So I've lost colonies from queens failing. I've lost colonies from, I don't know. The Varroa mites make some of my colonies really small. But some of the queen failures might have been from Varroa mites. Like 166 right here, just yesterday I combined a colony that lost their queen with 166. Trying to avoid, this colony was really small. I was trying to avoid them getting chilled during the night. And what I do is if I cull a queen, I'll wait 24 hours before I combine that colony with another. And I would not combine that colony with another colony that is a whole lot smaller. See, we're still not warm enough yet. I won't do hive inspections, open hives until it warms up, which is going to be here about an hour. But I've got all these colonies here to do yet. I have those colonies to do yet. The first row I showed you I did during 2 days. I can only do 30, 40 a day because when I'm combining colonies, I'm moving hives around and I'm taking stuff away from them. It just takes time. If I were to go through and check queens, maybe I could do 50 a day. I only have from 11 o'clock to like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. See that sun? Because of my stupid blue spruce trees, the sun is going down. It's November 14th. We don't get much sunlight. I have moved my colonies away from the shade. These colonies here are in the shade now. They won't get sunlight until probably February, end of January. But anyway, and the other issue is because of my lack of space for colonies, I've had to stack these. And I can't get into these colonies here. I currently don't have an LED flashlight. The one I bought is no good, so I got to buy another one. I can see the size of the colony, but I don't know what's going on. So maybe some of these colonies got chilled overnight. I don't know. I'm going to get to these eventually, but I always save the ones underneath the roof until later because it's supposed to rain towards the end of the week. Save those for when it's not raining, and do the ones that are outside. These over here. Like I said, I make my own new queens. The ones I make in the new colonies I make in May, they will get large enough to get through winter. This is a May colony. They're doing really well. This one here didn't make it the first round. They made it the second round. And you notice a difference? May, June. That's a May. And most of these are June and July. Okay, and then what happened with the varroa mites getting out of control? Some of my older colonies that I was pulling broods of frame off of during the summer because they had a lot of drones and they were making a lot of brood. They're the ones that got affected by the varroa mites. My new colonies, not so much. And because I can't open a hive during August and September without the robbers getting out of control, I didn't really notice until September. 2/3 of my colonies coming out of summer, or maybe 3/4, were brand new colonies. And they're small. They won't get through winter outside. They're going to have to be brought in. And the other quarter to 1/3 or so are older colonies. And a lot of those have lost their queens and they're gone. 83 is an old colony. 106 is an old colony. And they're under threat of varroa mites. But the acylic acid that I'm using does not kill the varroa mites in the cat brood. And the majority of my colonies still have cat brood. So I'm always going to have varroa mites until the cat brood is gone. And having time to do the acylic acid treatment is very limited. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these colonies today while it's warm. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll get through those. And the next day, I got basically 3 days left. Try to finish them up. And then by this weekend, it's supposed to be in the 20s by a week from now, or 8 days from now, 9 days. I want to have all these treated before it gets in the 20s. So do my hive inspections, get that done, and eliminate queens that are old, combine colonies that don't have queens, eliminate the number of hives that I have, do my acylic acid treatment, and then, all right, this is one of my first buildings that I had before I got involved in beekeeping that I put hives in during the winter. The small colonies that can't make it through winter, rather than insulating a hive, that's not going to do any good with a small colony. Bring them inside a building that's insulated. When you put a number of colonies in here, every colony puts off a little bit of heat. It will heat this room. You don't actually need a heater, okay? So all these videos on YouTube are for people that have colonies that aren't brand new for that summer, and they probably bought a queen and combined it with a split. They don't have to worry about the colony being small. But anyway, I've been moving stuff out. I'm going to get set up here to have this completely empty here in a week. And I'll show you. Look at all those hive bodies. That truck is completely full. And I'm going to get ready. I want to do this floor here in the next few weeks. Put a floor over my basement. I got to put a beam across. Put in some floor joists and some 3/4 inch OSB. And do a floor here. And take some of the stuff off the truck. And some of the stuff in the shed's going to go out underneath the roof. But I do have this room here ready. It's insulated. Okay, last fall, I put colonies in this part. And I needed a storage room, so I've got stuff up here. My pole barn is 30 years old, and it was like 10 feet, 10 and a half feet when I built it. So I'm finally making use of my pole barn. I've got bottom boards, bottom screens, inner covers, outer covers. I got screens that I'm going to use here that I put on the hives when I bring them in. And this right here is going to be my future extracting room. Right now, I got it set up for doors. Oh, that came loose. But I'm not worried about the doors right now. I just want to get through winter, try to save as many colonies as I can. But a lot of colonies are going to go in here. The walls are insulated. I'm going to insulate the door frame here. I will have a heater in case I need it. But I could probably put, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 colonies in here. I'm not really sure. I've never done this before. I used to put bees in these windows in the house years ago. But bees would get loose and my wife's allergic to bees. So then I built this room. And I always made sure to brush off the bees, make sure I had no bees on me when I came into the house. But this room here, because it's on the south side of our house, I don't want to put up curtains. I used to put colonies in the windows, but when I had colonies inside, I didn't want to heat the room too hot, and the colonies in the windows got too cold. So what I'm going to do now is the colonies that I think have issues, I'll go ahead, I'll bring them into this room. A lot of these colonies out here underneath this roof are going to end up in here. And I know I could cover them up with a black fabric or something to keep the light from getting to them. I could do that, but I don't. It's such a hassle. But anyway, stack them in here. Make sure I have enough room here to do my hive inspections against this door. And I'll be doing hive inspections during the month of December, January, February, and March. While you guys are waiting to see how your colonies survive winter. And if I have large colonies that move around too much in this room, I'll just take it and I'll just move them out to the shed or towards my garage in another room. But my goal is to get through all these colonies before it gets cold next week. By Thanksgiving, we're supposed to be in the 20s and have snow on the ground. Okay, so that's basically 9 days away. But I think I can get through these colonies this week while it's warm. And this weekend start moving them into rooms. And anything that's left outside hopefully will be large enough to handle the cold. So that's basically where I'm at. Pause again. My huskies love the cold. They don't love it so much during the summer, but they love winter. They love being cold. So I decided to go ahead, let them have this. I used to take my tractor and put bees on the deck and bring them in the room. And I don't currently have a gate set up for my tractor to go in there. All I have is this gate here. So if I need to bring in hives, I will bring them in on a hand truck and wheel them up the door. But I'm not going to be putting bees on the deck anymore. My dogs, I had put little rags in here, the entrances to close them up, and my dogs would pull out the rags while they're inside. So now I have to turn the front of the hive around towards the wall. So these shims here will be on the back side if they go into storage. But when they're up against the wall here, they have to have the entrances towards the outside, and they have to have this shim here towards the outside. So it's a lot of things they have to do over and over again. I'd be moving stuff around, and in this bottom board here, because they're up against the wall and I want to see what kind of stuff is falling out of the hive, I have to, and then when I'm trying to use acylic acid, because there's a little gap in between the bottom board and the bottom screen, I have to get something in there to plug it up, and it's just a big hassle. I really don't like doing this. I would prefer to have them out here underneath the tree or somewhere where they get sunlight. It's not working up against the wall, so that's the next big thing I need to do, is to figure out how to not do this anymore, stacking them on top of each other. Like I said, I go around and I can lift them, and I know, are they light? If they're light, that means they need honey. But I can't lift the bottom. So how do I know when they need honey? I don't feed syrup anymore. And I don't think I'm going to buy any more pollen substitute, all right? I'm trying not to spend money doing this, because you're spending more money than you're getting in return from your profit. Well, I haven't made a profit. I keep investing in the number of hives. So that's where I'm at. And I've got to get ready to do hive inspection. I'd like to do that whole roll today. It would be nice, so that tomorrow I could get over here and do these, do half of them at least. All right, and these people that call and leave messages on my phone, you know, it's my business phone. I can determine in 2 seconds whether I want to listen to your message or not. You know, if I don't care to listen to you, I just delete the message. So you guys that don't have a life, I feel so sorry for you. My life is really busy right now. I got to give my dogs a walk or a run every day. I got to take care of these bees. I got to do electrical work to make money, all right? And I try to sweep this floor at least every other day, because by sweeping this concrete here, I know how many bees are coming out of my hive. Do I have the Varroa mites under control? When they come out like this, that's not a good sign. That means my colonies are shrinking. That means they're going to be inside here sooner than than I would like them to be, or they may not make it through winter. That's the issue. The toxic chemicals are shortening the lives of my bees. Instead of living 5 to 6 months through winter, they only live 3 to 4 months. So by the end of February, my colonies are so small. I don't have dead outs because I try to maintain the colony, keep it warm enough, keep it alive, but the colony shrinks so much, they get down to 25, 30 bees by February, not enough bees for the queen to restart because they can't do brood, they can't keep the eggs warm, all right? I mean, what the hell do I gotta say to you guys? I can get rid of the Varroa mites. By doing that, I'm going to do another acrylic acid treatment here in a few days, and I could do another one. I can't do it inside anymore. That ProVap 110 really does a lot of acrylic acid fumes. Can't do it inside anymore like I could that Vrox vaporizer. But I may have to actually use a respirator. But anyway, in the past, I have gotten rid of the Varroa mites during winter using acrylic acid, and my bees are still dying. I've actually done tests where I've done acrylic acid, see if I dropped any Varroa mites, and no Varroa mites dropped. And you can see them on your bees if you have them. You don't see them on the bees, you don't drop any Varroa mites. Your bees aren't dying from Varroa mites. They're dying from the toxic chemicals they pick up during the summer. All right? What more do I need to say? This is why it's so difficult for me to keep honeybees alive. This is toxic chemicals. I can't do anything about them. The state of Michigan told me my bees died from toxic chemicals from crop farmer. But then they told me the farmer did nothing wrong because the corporations control our government, and our government controls what goes on in this country, all right? I mean, why are you guys so stupid? All right? You guys are so stupid. I am not stupid like the rest of you. I'm getting so sick of putting videos on, trying to tell you what's going on, and it's a waste of my time. You see how damn busy I am? All right? Why should I waste my time to try to help you? Well, I'm not actually trying to help you. I'm trying to wake you up so you can help me in return. But no, it's a waste of fucking time. All right? Thank you.